So Superman is finally released, and it has been divisive to say the least, which is not inherently a bad thing because at least the conversations that I've had with people have been genuine. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people have been very much in the middle about it, but they've all been genuine as opposed to ideologically charged like so many of the previous conversations seem to have been amongst other video games, movies, comic book adaptations, whatever it may be. That can't really be said for the way the mainstream media is portraying the film. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Landon Idol, and yes, this is coming from Kotaku, and like, look, I know, I very rarely cover Kotaku nowadays because, I mean, they're Kotaku, they're clickbait, but they're rage bait. But this does accentuate an overall larger problem with the media in general, trying to draw this hard line between what Superman is, and then you've got the shills on either side, the right, the left, trying to say what they think the film is, or should be, or how you should feel about it. And as somebody that just wants to get back to good quality nerd content, it's driving me insane. So we're going to do this article. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. And let's get into this. Superman didn't go woke. He's just a good person. The first film in James Gunn DCU unmasked the culture war grift for what it's always been. Now, take a look at my channel. Take a look at my channel history. You will find quite a few videos of me, let's just say dapping my toe. Okay, no. Diving headfirst off the high dive into the culture war. And yeah, your boy got some opinions. Most of the time, I'm absolutely disparaging the left. But you know what? I ain't above criticizing both sides. In fact, just yesterday, video criticizing the right, and I made videos criticizing Tim Pool, and I made videos criticizing, what's his name, Ben Shapiro's little bearded buddy. Can't even think of his name off the top of my head because he's just that annoying and worthless. But the fact of the matter is, I have very openly and honestly chastised both sides when warranted. But the thing about this is that there is no culture war grift around Superman, at least not from the majority, only the fringes on both sides, and it is very much on both sides because you've got those trying to tout this as, oh, you've got an immigrant coming in and beating down a billionaire. This is a left-leaning movie. And you've got those on the right coming in, they're talking about how truth, justice, the American way. Superman is inherently a Christian white man story. And like, guys, maybe, just maybe, it's a movie and nothing more. And that needs to be stated because just the way this article is written, which, by the way, gives certain facts, like, I don't mean opinions, facts, verifiably wrong within the first few sentences. Let's take a look at this. James Gunn's Superman has officially had the best opening weekend of the Man of Steel's film career, with millions of people seeing David Cornsweet don the red cape. There's a lot of debate surrounding the movie. Now, hold on. This is the first sentence. James Gunn's Superman has officially had the best opening weekend of the Man of Steel's film career. That is objectively wrong. It has not had as good an opening as literally the movie Man of Steel. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Leon, it's made $122 million. Okay, yes, you're right. It made $122 million. That's in 2025 numbers. Let's go right here. Man of Steel. Now, Man of Steel opening weekend, $116 million. Actually, over half, 117 if we're estimating. Sure, that seems lower. Guys, it's 2013. Adjust for inflation. No, Man of Steel made $160 million, actually almost $161 million opening weekend. We're talking nearly $40 million more than this movie. Now, that doesn't mean this movie's bad. That doesn't mean that this movie's good either. There's things to talk about. There's positives, negatives, things to criticize. I'm a Man of Steel fan. I also like this movie. Believe it or not, you don't have to be a Snyder bro or be a gun gooner or whatnot. Maybe you could just be a Superman fan that wants to see a Superman film. And yeah, the idea that in the first line, I mean, are they incompetent journalists? Well, it's Kotaku, so obviously. But are they outright lying, or do they just not do their due diligence? Do they just not, commit to their journalistic integrity? I'll leave that to you guys. Either way, are DC Comics movies back after floundering for a decade? We're on sentence number 2, and they're wrong again, because let's take a look at, okay, Man of Steel, that was over a decade ago. That was 2013. All right, fair enough. We can't talk about that, even though the numbers did good. What about Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman was 2017. All right, that's within the last decade. Almost $1 billion. What about Aquaman? 2019. Over $1 billion. What about Batman v Superman? 2016. We still within that decade margin. Again, almost $1 billion. All right, hold on. Maybe we want to, they said DC. That doesn't necessarily mean DCEU. Joker. Oh, right. Joker. over $1 billion. What are you on about? Trying to claim and make this, oh, DC after floundering for a decade. Now, have DC movies floundered? Yes, there have definitely been some that floundered. Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Wonder Woman 2. Oh, I'm starting to see a pattern here. The point is, to try and claim that DC as a whole has floundered, that's just verifiably incorrect. I just pulled up 4 movies in the last decade that made almost, if not more, than $1 billion. Can you kickstart a new shared cinematic universe without having to retread all the origin stories? And hilariously, is it a political agenda to care about people? Alright, hold on. That has never been the conversation, at least not by actual cultural commentators, at least not by actual fans, at least not by actual individuals who wanted to see this movie or be parts of these shared universes or whatnot. Now, do you have people on Fox and Friends or whatever being, oh, Superman's woke? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's people doing that. But do those people dictate the actual discourse of the film? Do those people represent the actual fan? No, they don't. And in fact, if you want to look at all these right-wing grifters, myself, the Angry Badger, Gooch from Diabolical Souls Animation Presents, even Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Epic Mike, Yellow Flash, we have all made videos on Superman. Some of us positive, some of us negative, but the fact of the matter is, we've also all had dialogues about it. We had our thoughts before the film, we had our thoughts after the film. Yellow Flash, famously, did not think the film would be good, nor did he think it would do well. Now, jury's still on whether it would do well, but spoiler alert, he liked it. That doesn't seem like a grift to me. That seems like someone who's actually being honest in their interpretation of the film and saying, you know what? I thought it would be this. It ended up being this. I liked it. What about Epic Mike? Epic Mike loathes this film. Is Epic Mike a right-wing grifter? You're telling me the big black dude, you know, the representation you also desperately want to see, hating this movie is now part of a right-wing grift? Or maybe, just maybe, he didn't like the film. It really is that simple. Nobody who is actually a fan of these geeky and nerdy subcultures was making this a right-wing grift, and frankly, I would like to think nobody was making it a left-wing grift, but since I don't follow that sort of content, I couldn't tell you. Maybe I'm just, taking too much inspiration from Superman and being hopeful. However, it goes on to say, yes, that's the level of culture war nonsense we're dealing with in 2025. Now, you don't even have to have an inclusive cast of diverse heroes to get slapped with woke stamp. You just have to fundamentally believe people are worth saving. Shut the hell up. Dude, everyone's major complaint, warranted or not, about the Man of Steel was that Superman didn't save enough people. People have wanted Superman to be saving people and to give hope and to think that humans were saving since before the Man of Steel, since that was the biggest criticism, or at least one of the biggest criticisms, of that original film. Like, the idea of people being worth saving is not a woke or non-woke thing. This is, once again, this is the manufactured culture war that you are talking about. This is the disingenuous slop that you claim you are fighting against. It's actually bananas to me. It is insane that they want to attribute a right-wing grift when talking about Superman, when maybe people just happen to be Superman fans, while you write a disingenuous article with 2 false propositions in the opening paragraph that are verifiably false, and you want us to trust you as the authority on the matter? I don't recall anybody of note in these sort of quote-unquote anti-woke circles or whatnot calling Superman woke. In fact, when that fake news story about the actress Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane, talking about how this movie isn't going to be made for right-wingers, like there's a fake quote of hers going around, I actually know several of these anti-woke grifters, you'd call them, that said it was fake, that reported on it saying this isn't true. If they were grifters, wouldn't it be so much easier to just roll with that story and then be like, oh, look at this, we were right all along, chuds win again? But no, because of due diligence, we all did the reporting saying, no, this is fake, don't fall for this. That doesn't mean the movie will be good, that doesn't mean it's not going to have XYZ ideological things to it. But really, there is none of that in Superman. There's nothing left or right for the vast majority of the film in Superman. It's just a fun comic book movie, and whether it's fun or not, that's going to be open to interpretation. But that's neither here nor there. For those condemning Superman as supposedly the latest example of Hollywood turning out woke ideology, show them to me. Show me, where in the room is the woke? Is the woke next to you? Show me on the doll where the woke touched you. Oh, yeah, you can't find it. You can't. It's because it's not there. Notice how you're not attributing quotes to any of us. Notice how you're not saying in this video someone said this. In this X post someone said this. Now again, do you have someone dressed all up in a suit and all nice and proper on Fox News? Okay, yeah, sure, go for it. But for every instance of that on Fox News of someone saying Superman's woke, I can probably find an instance on CNN of someone pushing the narrative that Superman is inherently democratic because he's an immigrant that's going against a billionaire. This truly is the Tim Walz versus Elon Musk story. Maybe both sides are just absolute shit. One sticking point is Gunn's assertion that Clark Kent himself is an immigrant in America and has experience as an alien who is wound up on this planet, still seeks to do good on principle, speaks to something we have lost. Now, Gunn made some retarded statements here. That doesn't inherently mean it was that the movie is woke. Gunn made a woke statement. Yes, he absolutely did. Because we don't need to get into the definition of wokeness. I have an entire video for that on my channel if you want to, just figure out for yourself what it truly means. But at the end of the day, yes, Gunn using these super politically charged buzzwords that don't actually mean anything in the context of the film when we're in a very politically charged state right now. I'm sorry, yes, that is woke, and that also very potentially hurt the film, because there are going to be people who said, wow, the guy that made the film said that this is what the film's about. Well, if that's what the film is about, I'm not going to go see it. So people who have the purchasing power, because they are the consumers, because they are the customers, because they are the fans, hear something from the creator's mouth, why shouldn't they take their word for it? Now, is any of that stuff actually in the film? No, it's honestly not. Again, I saw the film, I liked the film. But I can't blame people for hearing that and not going to see the movie based on that decision. Based on hearing that, they made their decision based on what the creator told them, based on what the creator said, because he couldn't shut his mouth. There's nothing woke about that. That's just people choosing to spend their money the way they want to spend their money. The usual suspects like Fox News, there it is, good old Fox News, everybody, lost their shit at the suggestion that a hero who symbolizes true justice in the American way might not fuck with modern day political climate in which one side revels in using systemic power to push other people out of their homes in the history books. What are you even referring to or talking about? Maybe the reason people on Fox News are freaking out about this, and to be fair, I didn't watch any Fox News segments on this, so I don't know. But since none of that's in the film, none of it actually matters. There's not been a culture war crusade against this movie. If there was a culture war crusade against this movie, it wouldn't have, as you so deemed it, the highest grossing opening for a movie, for a Man of Steel movie ever. Which again, it doesn't, but that's the claim you made, so let's roll with that. No. Clearly the movie seems to be doing fine, which would mean people on the left and the right are going to see it. So where's this right-wing boycott you're referring to? Because it can't be both. It's got to be one or the other. Either the right is boycotting it, and because the right's boycotting it, half your audience is gone, it's not doing well. Or it's the highest opening Man of Steel movie ever. It's not, but you said it, so I say it is. That must mean both sides are going to see it. And both sides are going to see it, then nobody's boycotting it or throwing a fit that it's woke or anything like that. Because guess what? We have seen Get Woke Go Broke. It's absolutely been a thing. So I refer you to the slew of financial failures of the last decade, only compounding further and further because of these ideological things being infested within the nerd media that we consume. But guess what? Since that's not in this film, and since it's got some semblance of word of mouth, I can't really say good or bad because, again, it is a divisive film, but I'd say good from my perspective. I'm giving a good word of mouth. The point is, clearly one of these things is not like the other. You also had ex-Superman actor Dean Cain weighing in for some reason about how he believed the film's political messaging would hurt its success. Dean Cain didn't say that. Dean Cain said that the messaging of James Gunn would hurt the film, which, by the way, it likely has, because even if one person didn't go see the film based on what James Gunn said, it hurt the film. That could be the difference between $140 million and $139 million, $139,999,075, whatever the cost of tickets are. The point is, if you lost even one sale because of your comments, objectively, it did in fact hurt the film. Now, maybe it didn't hurt it much. Fair, but that's not the argument here. The argument is that Dean Cain was saying by James Gunn going out and making these politically charged statements about a movie will hurt the movie because, as Michael Jordan famously said, Republicans buy sneakers too. And he was entirely correct about that, and that's something we need to get back to. So even if the movie doesn't have the ideological bogus that was in it, which it doesn't, guess what? You still lost sales because James Gunn didn't know how to keep his mouth shut. This is such a disingenuous conversation, and we're not even going to go through the rest of the article because the rest of the article, it's pointless. It's bunk. There's no reason to really acknowledge it beyond the fact that we do have grifters on the left and on the right talking about this movie in such a disingenuous fashion. They want so badly for Superman to be part of the culture war. They want so badly for this movie to be woke or to be anti-woke that they've forgotten, at least the people on the right who are anti-woke, have forgotten what they've been fighting against this whole time, which is, we just want media to be good again, free of forced left-leaning ideologies, and frankly, that also starts to encroach into the right-wing woke, where the right-wing individuals don't mind ideologies in movies and comics and video games, whatever, as long as it fits their narrative. To me, both are equally as bad, and I think that's how the majority of truly anti-woke individuals feel about this. We want to be free of agenda in general and just enjoy shit for what it is, or be able to judge stuff on the merit of what it is, which is what you can do with Superman. I've heard so many good, credible, authentic criticisms of this film. None of them have to do with political ideologies, as it should be. I've also heard people sing this film's praises, and none of them were for political propagandistic reasons. And that's what it should be. So yes, when you talk in this article about the culture war around this film, you were being disingenuous, which is ironic as sin, because you were the one feeding said division by having an article like this even exist, when the real division around this film is based on the merit and quality of the film, because let's be real, as I've said plenty of times at this point, it is divisive, which is why I would love to know what you guys think about the film, as well as the Discord about this film. But those are my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day, not always about comic book movies, the film industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose what's covered on the day-to-day streams, and of course, get involved with over 180 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community. I cannot wait to grow even further because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought that's interesting to you. Join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.